Hey y'all, I'm Carolina Tony. Today the road brings us to Natural Bridge, Virginia, and we are here standing outside of the Caverns at Natural Bridge. In just a few minutes we will be going down into the bowels of the earth and to explore some caverns. That's why they call it the Caverns. Well, we will find out what all this is about, and you get to come with us, and we'll get started right after this station identification.
Any pictures if you'd like.
Here it comes.
Up here on your left, we're going to be passing our first big formation. This is the Flowstone Cascade, kind of a big rock waterfall, a bunch of teeth. Feel free to snap any pictures as you pass, everybody. Take any pictures. Here in the middle is the Colossal Dome, one of the largest single formations of the entire cavern. And it's also one of the most active and the fastest growing too. But for a formation to be active or to be growing at all, it has to be dripping with water. And every little droplet is leaving behind little bits of minerals and calcite that connect together, and it adds to this big crust to make these formations happen. If you were to split this thing right down the middle and look inside of it, it's full of rings, just like a tree, and they'll count how many rings there are to know how old the formations are, and how thick or thin those rings are to know how much rainfall happened thousands of years ago. It's just called paleoclimatology. And the entire room used to be completely filled up with water like an aquifer, but the water would swirl in through here and go around and smooth out some of these weaker spots in the limestone ceiling. There, don't get your feet wet. We're going to be in today. This is the Mirror Lake room, and right here is our big puddle pond, the Mirror Lake. And the water is very cold to these pools. It's about 47 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and when air in here moves across the top of these pools, that's what's helping cool off the air a little bit more, keeping it constantly 54 degrees. There's no sunlight or anything. But even when it's 100 outside or 0 and snowing, it feels the exact same underground. And that's how I see some of those animals come in here to escape the frost. And there's a couple more formations, like these tiny little stalactites. And when they're babies like this, we call them soda straws because they have a hollow tube down through the center of them as they grow. And eventually those tubes get clogged up by the minerals and they start growing more on the outside of the straw. And that's when they get that classic carrot shape, like the ones up here. And then if these get big enough and they're close enough together, they'll start trying to fuse together in these long rows of formations. Right here, like this one right here, this one right here, which we call flowstone because they start to look more like little waterfalls. And then up above us on the ceiling, this whole section right here is just one giant scallop. And so just ask. I didn't even know who it was. They met up with my group later. I didn't even know this.
Kind of tight in here.
But I came back up and this whole chunk was missing, and this is really, really hard. So I'm lucky they didn't
I
grab
just
that.
banged my head.
There's an actual bridge. The baby version. Of course, it's at like the deepest point. It's hard to see things. Probably falls out of it. Careful coming in around that corner, everybody. It's very slippery. As you come in, just gather around this bridge. You can come around this side, this side. If you can see in this hole, you're in a good spot to see everything we're going to talk about. Careful coming in, watch your step. Okay, so this is the deepest point that people can possibly fit through this little hole right here. This is the well room, and it's also my favorite part of the cave too. Not only it's all the water and the action and sounds going on down here, but what's running up above us in this room, which is a massive stress fracture. And this crack was ripped open by earthquakes a very long time ago. It goes up almost 100 feet until it hits the ceiling. But it's in this room where if you're standing on the surface above us, you'd have to come down almost 200 or 347 feet to get down inside of this room from the surface. It's a little bit bigger than a football field if you flipped it up on its end to get down inside of this room from the surface. Use our imagination a little bit, kind of making pictures out of clouds almost. And right on this little mound right here in front of me is our little cave seashell. I've always thought it kind of looks like a garden gnome too, with the pointy hat and the beard coming down right there in the front. It's kind of sad looking. And to the right of that little guy, we've got a weeping willow tree. All the branches and the trunk coming out of that big tree. And then up above it is a little hornet nest. They've got a stalactite on their beehive. And then above me is a fish with his tail coming down right here. It's kind of slimy looking. And then tucked back in this little hole, it's kind of hard to see, but there's some crispy cake bacon if you did any breakfast this morning. A couple slices in there. And then
I had filmed a closing, but I don't know where it got. Well, I hope you enjoyed our trip to the Caverns at Natural Bridge, Virginia. If you did, be sure to give us a big old thumbs up. Be sure to share with your family and friends. But until next time, y'all have a good day.